Now, welcome back to Calling It. So it was a 5-0 win for Celtic against Ross County. Edouard Ayeti, Shane Duffy got his first goal. Ayer and Klimala finally scored as well. So overall, pretty decent performance from Celtic. Interesting to see Neil Lennon went for the three at the back. If you look at my channel, I went through Celtic's depth chart and looked at different formations that he might play. I did think he might go with the three at the back with Shane Duffy there. I was a little bit surprised that Shane Duffy was on the right side as opposed to the middle where Chris Julian ended up being, but it worked. You could tell that it was a work in progress. In the first half, a couple of chances for Ross County, they were a little bit slack, a little bit. They looked a little bit like they had just thrown this together, that they hadn't really worked on it for that long. That's probably because they haven't. They only probably worked on it this week, but it is promising to see that Neil Lennon is willing to actually try different formations, and I thought it worked pretty well. When you look at it going forward, it gives you much more options going forward. Frimpong as a right wing back is much better as a right back because he has an excuse to bomb forward now. He did brilliantly on the overlap a couple of times. Again, his final pass in the final third going into the box needs to improve, but his pace is really dangerous and you can really do damage to weaker sides like Ross County. And I think Jeremy Frimpong was excellent today. In midfield, Scott Brown, a couple of loose passes again in the first half. He needs to pick up his pace when it comes to that. He needs to pick up the slack and get his passing much better than it actually is. But ultimately, when you're playing a team like Ross County, you get away with these things. Celtic got away with a couple of things today. Ross County were unlucky not to score in the first half. Barkas pulled off a couple of good saves as well. So I suppose that's also a bonus when you have a keeper that you trust, that he can get his fingertips on it. He was a little bit weak from crosses. A couple of corners came in that he didn't deal with properly. The defense didn't deal with them properly either. But when it comes to saving, if you have a keeper like that, you can afford to make a couple of mistakes. You can afford to get forward and be more expansive like Celtic were today. So overall, pretty good display. You want to see Celtic putting Ross County and St Mirren and these weaker sides to the sword like they did today. Um, Bonuses, like I said, if you watch my video on Shane Duffy, he's a monster in the air, and he got his first goal for Celtic. Excellent to see him starting. He does have a bit of match fitness to get into him, but he will be a good option. He also threw himself in front of the ball. Might have been a handball. I'm not really sure if it was. Depends on your point of view on it. But yeah, excellent goal from him. We will expect a lot more of that, Shane Duffy. That is essentially what he does for Ireland and what he was doing for Brighton as well. So expect more of that from Shane Duffy. Expect more goals from him going forward. Klimala finally got a goal. Yeah, it was interesting if anybody noticed the Neil Lennon hug before the game. It's hard to know whether Neil Lennon rates Klimala, why he hasn't been playing, if he's been injured, if there's injuries we're not hearing about, why he hasn't really been getting game time. But he finally got game time. First chance he got, cleared off the line. Very unlucky. Probably should have buried it into the corner as opposed to straight down the goal. But eventually it fell to him when Ross County looked tired at the end, but El got the ball, passed it across, and it was a good finish from him. So good to see him scoring. Ayeti again, if you're looking at him, that's what, 3 goals in 3 appearances, or three goals in 4 appearances for Celtic now at this stage. Clinical in the box, what Celtic need. And when you can get two players up front like Edouard and Ayeti, you're going to score goals. So I do think the three at the back and wing back with two forwards up front is the way forward for Celtic. Left back is still an issue. It's hard to know whether Greg Taylor is going to be put there or whether James Forrest is going to go there as a left wing back from now on. It was something that I kind of tinkered with. I wasn't really sure whether El Unisi was a natural wing back, if he's better being on as the second striker. That's actually where Neil Lennon brought him on in the end. So it will be interesting to see if Greg Taylor gets the hatchet and it's James Forrest playing left wing back from now on with Jeremy Frimpong playing as right wing back and the three at defence. I do think he will probably change it up again this coming Wednesday when they take on St Mirren. So ultimately, a solid performance, a little bit slack at the back, a few mistakes to make that you will get at this stage of the season, but it was also against Ross County, so you can't read in too much of the good stuff either. So a lot to improve on, but they did what they needed to do, and they need to get a win against St Mirren again. How did you think Celtic played? Did you think Shane Duffy? What did you think of Shane Duffy on his first appearance for Celtic? Will he be the right man to play in the three at the back? Do they need to change that? Should they play 4-4-2? Or how do you think Neil Lennon should line up? Should James Forrest be the left wing back from now on? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will be doing more Celtic videos from across the season. I'm Andy Call, who's been calling it. Thanks for watching.